Hey guys, Z from Build the Business You Love here, back with another small business event space video because as we know, they don't teach us this stuff in school. Hello. I am back with this question that I'm asked kind of often, and this is about event space business models and if it is passive enough, passive income. So some people consider in event space passive as a passive business model. Now, I feel personally that an event space is not passive at all. I don't care how much you automate it. I don't care how many processes you put into it. I don't care how much effort you put into SOPs. And the reason why I feel this way is because of the definition. The pure definition of passive income, according to the IRS, is the revenue that you get from neither your portfolio or wages and does not require an ongoing effort. I think that the term passive income is used very loosely. And I think that people are saying that the event space business model is passive to make it seem simpler. But for those of you who are already in the industry, who are already in the business, know, if you know, you know, right? That an event-based business is not passive at all, okay? It's a very active business model. And, it takes a lot of effort into getting your event-based business going. It takes a lot of effort into understanding what goes on and the involvement that it takes in making yourself distinctive, and understanding that, being able to generate revenue minimally on an ongoing effort can be quite difficult, right? But this video is actually about how we can turn an active event space business model into something more, or I should say less active. I don't want to call it passive because I believe that an event space business is not at all passive. I think that, it's something that you really have to use and work with through trial and error and learn on your own, right? You have to know what processes and SOPs and automations to put into place, right? You have to do that by actively working the business. Otherwise, you won't know. Okay, so you know me, I'm real. I'm gonna give y'all the full 100 of my opinion of how I feel about it. You may still feel differently after this video, but some of the things that I wanted to go over with you in discussing how to make your event space business a little less active, because some of you are getting worn out. Some of you have regular 9-to-5 still. Some of you, need to make the business model a little bit easier, a little bit more simpler for you. Okay, because the idea is not to work harder. The idea is to work smarter. Okay, so I wanted to go over some five strategies with you to make this very active business a little bit less active. Okay. The first one I wanted to go over with you is hiring reliable staff, right? Instead of you actually doing the stuff, price your event space business accordingly so that you are able to allow yourself free time so that you can hire trustworthy staff, right? Assistants, attendants, whatever you want to call them, whoever it is that handles the day-to-day operations, the bookings, the client interactions, and delegating, taking that task and passing it on to someone else who's capable, okay? Capable, that's the key word here, who's capable and can minimize your involvement in the business. But again, it trickles down to the money, right? So you have to make sure that you're charging the rate that you need to charge in order for you to be able to hire someone who's reliable, who's sustainable, who is competent enough for you to take a step back, okay? And that goes into not just pricing, but also the look and feel of your space. You can't charge something a high rate for something that is mediocre. So it's a trickle down effect. So you have to start to rethink how the look and feel and the experience that you're giving your customers that experience you're giving your customers, how you can better price it, and how you can actually be able to hire reliable staff to help you to with the responsibilities of an event space. Okay, so that right there, delegating the task onto someone else, can really be helpful for you as far as making it a lot less active. The next one is automations, and automating bookings, management systems. A lot of you are out there using HoneyBook and other systems like it. And it really is helpful. A CRM system is really helpful to handle the reservations, the payments, the client communications automatically. It reduces the need for, constant manual oversight and helps to streamline all of the operations and all of the processes, right? But again, you have to know what that automation looks like beforehand, right? You have to know what your process is. For example, I have someone who I am coaching right now, and they're like, hey, well, I want to use HoneyBook, right? But, it requires the link, and I don't know how to do this or do that, if we're not there. And I'm like, oh, well, just place some QR codes around, make sure that the link is attached to the QR code, make it make sense for you, right? Whereas I have another coaching client who's like, I don't want to do any automations. I want everything hands-on. And they are getting a lot of business because they have that hands-on approach, and more customers are, looking for that old school, touch. They want to touch and feel, well, not touch and feel someone, but they want that experience of having that customer service. They want that experience of having, good customer service and someone who is relatable to them, right? So they can actually come in and speak to a person. So some people still want that. So it's based on, your clientele. Maybe you want to give them that option, on, maybe what you're going to automate, what processes make sense, what processes don't make sense. But it has to make sense for you and your business and your bottom line. Okay. The next one is outsourcing maintenance for upkeep. So cleaning, repairs, professional services. Your toilet is going to break down. Somebody's going to put something in the toilet that doesn't belong in there. Somebody is going to break something. If you have mirrors, something is going to get broken eventually. I can guarantee you that. Something is going to need to be repaired. Okay. It's easy for you to have, or to outsource the maintenance and the upkeep, maybe someone cleaning up, maybe the person who you hired as your assistant or your go-to guy. Maybe that person, your staff, maybe that person has some capabilities, or maybe that may be a requirement for you to hire someone. That may be a skill set that you may want them to have, right? Know how to use a snake in the toilet, because you're going to need a snake. Know how to properly mop the floors, because you're going to need a mop, right? You're going to need to mop the floors and keep the place smelling clean and looking fresh so that people are not walking into sticky floors, right? You have to make it make sense. The next one is developing standard operational procedures. Now, this is key. I actually have a video on SOPs and, making sure that how to make sure that your business has them and it's laid out in an adequate way for you and your business to just have a good setup, right? So anything from, and the SOP should be in place from the time of booking, right? And how they book and the effectiveness and the efficiency of that process onto the onboarding process and the breaking down process, as well as the follow-up in order for them to give you a review. So that SOP process, that in developing standard operational procedures, can really help you from, like I said, the beginning to the end, and ensuring that there's consistency. So when you're taking a step back, you want to make sure that there's consistency in place. You want to make sure that people know what they're doing without constant supervision, right? That if something messes up along the line, if there's a break in whatever communication there is, you can say, oh, right here, it messed up. Let me go back and make sure that this still triggers, right? This automation still triggers, or what have you, right? Maybe maybe you may send out a one-off link to someone, and because you sent out that one-off link, something else may not trigger, right? So at least right? But you have to know what's going on in your process for you to say, this is what happened. If you don't know, you're not going to have a clue where that breakdown went. So that standard operational procedures are really important in maintaining consistency. Even when you go to Chipotle, think about Chipotle. Think about McDonald's. When you go to Chipotle, everybody has a station. You have someone at the first part at Chipotle asking you what you want, right? And constructing the whole thing. Do you want a burrito bowl? Do you want a salad? Do you want an actual burrito? And they set that up. Then it goes to the next person, right? It's an assembly line. Henry Ford's assembly line is still in effect today. Okay, goes down the assembly line. Oh, what do you want on it? You want this with proteins, right? Then it goes down again. What do you want as your other toppings? And someone else does that. And then another person is ringing you up. Do you want a drink with that? Right? So there's a process involved. If their SOPs didn't exist, that would be a hot mess the way that the clientele has. Think of Chick-fil-A, right? And the way that their line is seamless. And how their line goes quickly. And if you're at lunch and you're a person that goes there for lunch and you need to hurry up, and you're just the deciding factors you're deciding whether or not you should go to Chick-fil-A or somewhere else, you're going to choose Chick-fil-A because you have no time, right? And you may say, oh, I know they're going to get me through that line. So things like that can help you with your SOPs and understanding what procedures you need to put in place for your operations. The last one is making sure that you're utilizing your marketing tools, leveraging your marketing tools to automate your efforts, social media scheduling, email marketing campaigns, online advertising, making sure that your tools are still able to attract people coming in to book, and these things require consistent attention. And you may need someone, maybe your assistant can actually do that as well. Or maybe this is something you can put on a schedule and say, every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to check out, where my ads are. Or I'm going to post on that schedule, right? Either way, it has to all make sense. It has to all make sense for you and your business, you and your business's strategies. And it helps to reduce that hands-on nature of running the events-based business, and helps you to move you closer to a more, I don't want to use the word passive, a less active events-based business model. Okay. You still have to have that oversight. You still have to, be present, have a present state of mind, okay, on what's going on, because you don't want to stay here and give someone else your business and let them handle everything and they screw it up, right? Even the top companies has their levels on who's in charge and what their capabilities are and what their skill set is and what they have to do. And they're overseers of the people below them. And they have that pyramid chart and that hierarchy chart. So you still need to oversee. Okay, so that's why it's in my head, it's not passive. But to make it a lot less active, these are some things that you could do. I also have a course, guys. Check out the course. It teaches you about all of these things that I went over, especially about automations, and teaches you how to step-by-step automate your events-based business. Be sure to check that that course out. And right now it's really affordable. Check it out. And I'm Z from Build the Business You Love. And don't forget to check out my website as well, buildthebusinessyouLove.com, buildthebusinessyouLove.com. And I'm out. I hope this video helps someone. Be sure to comment below. I would love to see and hear what you guys have in place for your business, what's making sense for you. Don't feel bad. What makes sense for one business does not make sense for another business, and that's okay. Okay? And don't forget to, of course, subscribe. Later.